was born in Las Vegas, Nevada. Known as Sin City. It was kind of a fun place to grow up as a kid. But had a kind of sporadic, I would call it, religious upbringing. We would attend church, but not really on a regular basis, and we would alternate churches, like searching for what is the right church to go to or something like that. And my sisters in particular ended up, I have 3 older sisters, they actually became more religious and tried to bring that into my brother, and I have a twin brother also. Tried to pass that on to us, and I feel I eventually did become religious. I had become a reborn or born again Christian. I prayed regularly to Jesus, Isa. I sought guidance from him. When I had a question in my life about, some road to take or path or major decision, whatever, I can remember staying up praying for a long time for an answer on this. The biggest was when I had my first marriage. That was when I prayed several days. I prayed, was this the right thing? Asked Isa, was it the right thing to do? And so, and then I actually, even before I got married, actually, I ended up going to a Point Loma Nazarene College, which was a private college, a religious-based college, and and so I think on the whole, though, I would not consider myself as being highly religious, not to an extreme or anything, but definitely felt that Jesus was a part of my life, but I always had some questions, some lingering questions about, read the Bible many times, and just always had some lingering questions and stuff. So. Well, yeah, I think whenever you think about religion and really think about it and stuff, you feel it inside. You can feel that there is something inside, and it's a real feeling. It's not just something it's not just a logical thought. It's more than just a way of thinking. It has actual physical manifestation also in you. And so even when I would really concentrate and pray these, I could feel something inside, and so, and that's a good feeling, when you have that, it feels like it really strengthens the bond that you have, or the connection with the religion. So I know that it's real. I know there's something to it. It's more than just a way of thinking, a thought process. There's actually something to it. It's a real, affects you spiritually and physically, and so that kind of energizes you when you have an experience like that, when something like that happens, and it can leave you craving more, right? Because everybody likes when you have a really good feeling or something, you always want more of that. I really knew very, very little about Muslims and Islam. All I knew growing up was that there was somebody named Muhammad, peace be upon him. That's about all I knew. I had what I would consider like typical experiences here with or biases here. I was in the Navy, and going to the Persian Gulf, it's like, well, okay, everybody there, they're the, they're like the enemies, they want to kill us, they want to, destroy our way of life or type thing. So it was never a good understanding. There was never any real desire at that point to even go beyond that to say, you know, okay, who are they? You know, what are they? What do they want? It was just part of just an accepted that, okay, this is, you know, we're who we are, and we got to protect that at all costs, and, you know, anybody who goes against us is, you know, got to be really guarded against, so to keep it kind of wild. But, so really I had basically zero knowledge, I would say, other than the fact that I knew that Muslims considered their leader to be Muhammad, peace be upon him, and that was basically it. Other than okay, they live in the desert. You know, I thought all Muslims were just strictly in the Middle East. I had no idea really that they're everywhere. You know, I didn't know there could be possibly any there where I lived in San Diego or Las Vegas or wherever. I thought they all lived in the Middle East. kind of naive. So my first interaction with Islam, I guess, would be I don't know if 9/11 would count, but that was maybe the starting point, I guess. Also, you might say, because then became even, it was hammered in more that, okay, now here the Muslims are, you know, they're attacking us basically, right? But then I still kind of I didn't get really hyped up anti-Muslim or anything like that, but it did solidify at that time my belief that, okay, the Muslims are, you know, they're not good people, you know, they want to hurt us, type of thing. So that might have been maybe my first more in depth, other than, okay, I know what the Prophet's name is. But then after the London bus bombings, that's when I got more curious. That's when you know, you turn on the news and you hear, okay, this is not what Islam is about. But then you hear there's this Muslim group claiming responsibility for it, and so that's when I said, okay, I need to find out for myself. You know, what is Islam? What are these Muslims about? You know, there's two sides you always hear. Which side is the right side? You know, which one is the one that I should be listening to? You know, which voice should I be listening to? So I went to Barnes & Noble bookstore, and I bought a Quran, and I started reading. I would drive to work. I'd get to work early. I'd read some in the parking lot before I'd go into work, and then I would end up spending part of my lunchtime reading some more, and then read a little bit more before I'd drive home to work. And so I have to say Surah Fatiha immediately kind of put my mind at ease. You know, it felt, okay, well, this is good. You know, I was expecting maybe some, you know, starting out really horrific stuff or something like that, but it was really comforting. It was, I felt, okay, this is nice. This is worth continuing reading. So that prompted me to go to some lectures that were at San Diego State University, put on by the Muslim Student Association there. The lectures were a series on the prophets. And so I attended those. And again, I learned that, okay, well, this is familiar. This is not something really strange. This is, you know, very familiar to what I'm already used to. So then I Googled, I would continue reading the Quran, and you know, there's a lot I didn't understand. There's still some I don't understand, but there were parts that I felt directly, you know, spoke to me, that I could totally relate to right then. I loved, there was the, you know, the warning, but then there's the mercy was right there. I mean, it was all hand in hand, you know. It was very neat. So I Googled where some mosques were, and I found a mosque near my work, and I would go there, and they were closed often. It was in a industrial complex, and one day they were open. they let me go into the library, and they had 3 books in English. Everything else was in, I guess, Farsi or Arabic. So they let me take the 3 books that were in English, and one of them was about Imam Hussein, alayhi salam, and that really that really sealed the deal. You know, that's when I knew that, okay, this is really something, because you know, people don't do something like that. You know, that's very unique event. Yeah, so along the way, you know, I would for searching for information, right? I found that you got to be very careful of what you search for, you know. But so the book that I got from the mosque, Islamic Education Center in San Diego, was really fantastic, because you know, reading the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam it's something that no one else, the average person, anybody, they're not going to do something like that. You know, if your motivation is worldly gain, money, fame, anything other than the love of Allah, you're not going to do something like what he did. You know, and so it's like, it really, I mean, I feel it now. It really shows you and lets you know that his importance, that he's real. What he did and believed in was real, and it's important, and it's vital, and it's relative every day. It's relative to all of us all the time. And so just that sacrifice lets you know that it can't be done, could not have been done for anything other than the love of Allah, the belief in Allah, and to teach us that, okay, this is a real thing here. This is something that's important to you guys, and you need to know about this. And so, you know, after reading that, the wonderful thing about that also is it leads you to learn when you're coming to Islam. It leads you to learn about the other Imams, you know, because it's like, okay, now I found out about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So who are the other peoples? And then you learn about Imam Ali alayhi salam, and you learn about the other Imams. And what's fantastic about that is that you can find an answer for every situation that just really makes sense, and it's a peaceful one. It's not an aggressive one or an overly passive one or anything. It just seems like, well, if you think about it, it's like, you know what? That's a really good answer to this, and you can find those answers. You know, there's the resources that the Imams gave us. It's just it's a treasure, you know. And so when you're coming to Islam and you learn about these Imams, these personalities, then it leaves no doubt that, okay, this is absolutely the correct way to go. And what I loved about it also was that one thing that had troubled me as a Christian was, you know, Isa came, right, and you know, and the Bible was created later, and so there's all this guidance, but after Isa left, you know, what happened, right? It was, you could see there was the splintering, you know, who's the leader. There was no clear leadership. There were, you know, wars fought over who's going to be the leader, right? And so learning about the Imams, it's like, okay, that answers that question. You know, Allah did not leave us wandering, right? It's like, okay, here is the succession. Here is how you continue. And so that was really wonderful. That really made a lot of sense to me. You know, I couldn't see Allah sending his last prophet, but then saying, okay, you guys are on your own again. You know, that it makes sense that we have to have the Imams. At the time I embraced Islam, I'd been married for 22 years, and so it did not go over well. It was like a light switch. It was pretty much instant cutoff from a support system that I had. You know, with family, it was just basically gone. And actually, for the first, I don't know, maybe for quite a while, I was kind of accepted in the mosque, but not really felt like a part of it. Hardly anybody, if anybody would talk to me, I'd go there, I'd sit alone. So that was still a struggle that, finding out how to do things, who to ask questions was still a struggle, at that point. The sermons were not in English. I took my wife and daughter to one, and they're like, what are you doing? You can't, what are they saying? You don't even know what they're saying, how could you be following this? So, but, it was Imam Hussein, Islam, gave me the patience, the commitment to see this through. Then, the center had to move, and I showed up to help them move, and after that they said, okay, he's not, he's okay, he's all right. And so then it was more accepting, and then actually my company made me move to Seattle, and there's a center there, the Zainab Center, Imam Abbas Elias, and that was fantastic. What a great center that was. That was the first time I'd heard. Everything was in English, and I was like, oh, mashallah, I can understand what's going on, and I can really get some more education and stuff. It was really nice. So then I felt like I started to get more of a support system and more accepted and easily. And here in Chicago also, everybody's been very, very welcoming and accepting and stuff. So it's been very nice. So just initially it was rough, because I thought, okay, do I have to learn Farsi and Arabic to know what's going on here? It was tough. My marriage ended after 25 years. But mashallah, Allah was taking care of me in that respect. It's given me a new wife. So it was a tough conversion as far as family life and stuff, but the important thing was to keep, how does Allah want us to worship and understand Him and practice religion. So that was my conviction was really strong in that, and it's still just as strong. And so I knew I needed to see it through despite what might happen. But not speaking English, I think it makes it feel like it's a foreign religion. It's not, and this is Allah's religion. It's supposed to be, it's for all of mankind everywhere. It's not just a Middle Eastern religion, right? It's Allah's religion. And so it needs to be understood by people wherever they are, right? And so when I was a Christian, I could invite somebody to the church, okay? And first of all, the minister would be at the door, greeting you when you came, and then he'd be at the door thanking you when you left. And you could invite somebody to your service, right? And they can understand, they can hear the message. If it's not in English here, like what happened with my wife and daughter, it's like, okay, what did they say? I don't know. Then why are you doing this? Well, because, I read the Quran and Mom was saying, and they're like, well, you're crazy, So if it's not in English, you're going to be more reluctant to invite somebody, right? How are you going to invite somebody to the mosque? And they're not going to understand what's being said, and you can't tell them what's being said because you don't speak Urdu, or you don't speak Farsi, or you don't speak Arabic. That's a challenge, and I think that's a hurdle. And if it's spoken in the local language, then I think that does help make it seem less of a foreign religion. It's kind of, like I say, it felt like, okay, it's a Middle Eastern, or it's a third world religion or something like that, but it's not. You know, it's for all of us, and so we all need to be able to understand. And you know, unfortunately, you know, I might not be able to pick up Urdu instantly or Arabic or whatever. So, you know, the message needs to be, you know, the prerequisite should not be that you have to speak a particular language to get the message, right? To get the message, and then, you know, you can start learning the language. You know, I've learned a little bit of Arabic and stuff, but to get that initial message, you know, you need to hear it in your local language. So, the Ahlulbayt is that's our link to Allah. If you want to know how to worship Allah, then the Ahlulbayt is the path. That they're the ones that are going to teach you. All our du'as, they're really wonderful. They're super encompassing. They will teach you how to approach Allah. And like when I went on the ziyarat, that was like I said, it was the most rewarding experience of my life. And I can tell you that the Ahlulbayt, that they are alive. When you go to those shrines, it's a living place. And it's not living because of all the people. It's living because the Imam is there, and he wants to connect with you, and you can make that connection, and it's really powerful. And just if you practice and read and study about what the Imams have left us, their hadiths, the Sahifa Sajada. If you look at all these things, you know, they teach you, one, not only how to become closer to Allah, but how to be a better human. You know, how to you know, to stop doing things and to realize that doing the right thing is actually does make you feel better than doing something you might do otherwise that gives you some kind of temporary satisfaction or something like that. But they're much following the Ahlulbayt. It's like the perfect recipe. You know, if you follow this recipe, you're gonna come up with something really fantastic. They, you know, the reading Najul Balaga, it's just incredible. The insight that the Imams have into the human psyche is just really incredible. Just the things that they've said just give you incredible insight, demonstrates their incredible insight into the human psyche, into how you can be a better person and help humanity at the same time moving closer to Allah.